Welcome into today's podcast right here at the Cog Hill 40. Peaches wouldn't let Nugget into the canned ham for this episode, so here's Jason and Brooke. Johnny Carson didn't have nothing on these folks.
What is up, Cog Squad? This is another episode of the Cogcast podcast coming at you from the canned ham at the Cog Hill 40, which is a productive Cog Hill 40.
It is.
We got electricians outside right now pulling wire, getting power to our plugs and boxes we got all along the pasture.
The Purple Pigeon Palace will have power.
And the chicken coops will have power.
Say
and
that. Say
the Purple Pigeon Palace. I can say it.
We'll have power.
We will have power at the Purple Pigeon Palace.
Oh, you did well.
We're also going to have power at the entrance where we're going to put a gate and security cameras. So we're going just
smooth. Everything's going just smooth.
We've started on the Purple Pigeon Palace, the Aviary, and Greg is fixing to start working on the dam for the pond.
Full time.
We got Tracy helping us redo the fruit orchard. Then we're going to use the topsoil from the pond to help with the berms on the fruit orchard.
Oh, goodness. I'm getting a head spin thinking about all we got to do.
The barn has come. I mean, the barn has just been awesome. The repairs on the barn. And we got a text from our young man that is going to frame our house, Brent. And he said that he's coming Thursday or Friday this week to start on the house. Our trusses are not here yet.
They might be by Thursday.
Oh, guess what else I forgot?
What?
Your bathtub.
Oh, yeah.
Came in yesterday.
My bathtub came in. And when I placed the order, somehow I fat-fingered my phone number.
You did.
And they said that they've had it on the truck for a week, and they've been trying to call. And finally, a little lady answered the phone, and she said, I thought you said you were off.
I thought I was off, too. I got to put on Do Not Disturb.
Yes, right behind you. Here, I'll get it.
I got it on silent, but it comes through my computer now.
She said, look, y'all have been trying to call me, and I did not order a bathtub. And we looked at the invoice once we got it from because it came on a big old 18-wheeler.
It did, but it don't weigh.
No, it doesn't weigh
because
anything.
It's acrylic.
But it would have been damaged had it been tossed around through U.S. mail.
But it looks just like an old clawfoot tub.
So anyway, the driver said he just decided to take it upon himself and come and see what happened because he couldn't get in touch with us. And so yesterday, you were in here.
I was in here working on a video.
And I was homeschooling Marycarl.
And I heard a big horn honking outside, and it was just constant. It was like, bah, bah, bah,
Marycarl said, Mama, somebody's driving by honking.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
And that's just what I thought.
Well, I knew it was different because it was just continuous. It was just bump, 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 bump. I was like, man, somebody's at the gate wanting in or wanting to know something. So I opened up the door, and I saw that big 18-wheeler, and I knew exactly what it was when I saw that 18-wheeler.
Jason stuck his head in the camper where I was, and he said, bathtub's here.
Bathtub's here.
And I was like, what?
Yep.
They didn't call first? And he said, I don't know, but they're out there.
Yep.
So we drove the truck out to the road and backed it up to the 18-wheeler and just slid it off on the pallet.
That's right.
Everything went well.
It did.
And I was like, I asked the driver, I said, well, what about the faucet? Is it coming separate? He said, ma'am, all I'm doing is delivering the tub.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I understand that because it was the big bulky item. I just assumed the faucet was coming separate. And so Jason was just going to come on back inside. And I said, no, we got to open this thing up. What if it's 6 months before we put it in?
You were right. You wanted to make sure there was no damage on it. And so, yeah. And then I was like, I really don't want to open it because I don't want to lose the packing, how it was packed so nice and neat. But you were right.
I mean, all I could figure was just say
you're right.
May. We go to open it up and it's a big old gash in the...
Yeah.
It could happen.
That's right.
And so the faucet was in the bottom of it.
It was in the bottom of it. And the tub's awesome. I got a picture of you laying in it. I got to get that posted on
you could put it on this.
I can put it on this.
Since you know how.
I know how. It's a lot easier with this new laptop I
got. We uncovered it in the back of the truck, and I immediately jumped in it.
You did?
And Marycarl, when I went inside and told her the bathtub's here, she was like, Mama, can we put some water in it? And I was like, baby, it is freezing outside. Do y'all want to see what I have on? I have my handy dandy jacket.
Yeah.
I have my Cog Hill sweatshirt.
Yep.
I have my Nugget t-shirt, and I have my thermals.
It is cool outside. At least the sun's shining today.
The wind is not like it has been.
The wind has completely died down, and the sun is out. It's a beautiful, beautiful. I love cool days like this. I do.
I mean, I'm cold. I'm cold. You can see by my nose I'm cold, but I can handle it without the wind.
I'm not as beefy as you are. I got a long sleeve shirt on and a t-shirt. But
well, I have thermal pants on too, and
I did have somebody. I saw a comment, and I don't. It's hard to tell if somebody's being rude on comments because you can't. It's not personal.
No
it's just. But it said 45 is not cold. Is what they said in one of the comments, and so it kind of sounded like they were being rude, but they couldn't. They could have just been playing around. I don't know. But I responded back. I said, well, technically 45 is probably not cold for people above. Alabama.
The Mason-Dixon line?
Yeah, but here 45 is cool because we're just not adapted to it. We'd have a very, very mild winters.
Well, especially when we've had, December temperatures have been in the upper 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
And then it dropped. I mean, it's like you wake up the next morning and it's below freezing.
Mm-hmm. And the whole country's been like that, except, their temperatures, big drops, but their high may have been 50 and it dropped down to -10, but... Yeah, 45 is cold for. I mean, we're wearing jackets at 60 here in Alabama. I mean, we're just not just what we're accustomed to. We're used to 110 degree weather with 215% humidity, where you go outside and your glasses fog up and you feel like that you're just pouring sweat and everything's sticky and muggy because the humidity. It's a wet heat and a wet. Just feel here, but
I love it.
We don't have a dry heat at all.
Well,
really don't.
Not to say I love the humidity because I could probably do without that.
Yeah, the humidity's rough.
But I like working and sweating.
Yeah, the heat doesn't bother me. It's just the humidity gets so. It's almost, but we're used to it. I guess if you take somebody that's thinks 45's not cold, they come down here for 3 weeks during the midsummer. And they're outside 8 hours, they would probably say, man, it's hot. And we'd be like, it ain't that hot.
Yeah, it's just your body gets adapted to something.
You do get adapted to it.
And I think that's where our being cold comes from.
Yeah, 45 is pretty cool for us. Anything around 30 is really cold for us because we just don't have many days. Now, our nights may get below 30, but our daytime temperatures are hardly ever. I mean, maybe first thing in the early mornings, we may be around 32-ish.
Yesterday, I was miserable. I was literally miserable.
It was 26. I saw 26 mile-an-hour winds yesterday, and no sun.
No sun. And I still carried on. I had been wanting to use my finishing mower that we bought back in the summer.
Have.
And I had a lady from Georgia that had sent me an email telling me that she kind of got the idea that I was kind of meticulous about my grass and that I might consider a finishing mower.
That's right.
Because a bush hog does a good job at chopping, but it doesn't give that manicured look. Well, we have a pretty big area out in front of our property that's grass, and it has to be maintained. So back when we owned this property, but we still had the little cog, I had a 0-turn lawnmower. And I brought that 0-turn lawnmower over here one time. You were still working.
Yeah, yep.
And I cut the grass out front, and it just was night and day difference in the way it looked.
Yeah, a bush hog is just what it is. It's a bush hog. It's made for clearing and chopping and that kind of thing versus this finishing mower. It even sounds like a lawnmower. It looks like a bush hog pretty much. It's about the same size as a big bush hog, but it even sounded like a lawnmower. It did not sound like a bush hog. It wasn't like blah, 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 blah. It was like,
So I bought it back in the summer. You were still working. Marycarl and I went over to Greenville, Alabama, and bought it used. Got a good deal on it. It's been sitting since then because we just hadn't had. Well, most of the time we just hook the bush hog up and go with it. But I've been wanting to give it a try.
Plus, too, grease zerk stripped out on it. And if you don't know what that is, a grease zerk is a little old thing that sticks up and you put your grease gun on top of it. And your grease gun, that's how you grease your implements, your bearings and stuff that move and gets a lot of friction. And one of those had stripped out.
And the,
So I had to
the
fix
gentleman
that for you.
I bought it from, he said, you need to make sure you grease it good before you use it because it's been sitting up for a little bit. So we knew that, but one of them had broke off, and I had picked up a new one, so we had to get that repaired. And anyway, it just, time has not, well, actually, I bought one and I lost it.
You bought one and you lost it. But anyways, I got it fixed. I took care
Used
of that.
it for the first time yesterday. It is awesome.
You really liked it. You
I
really did like it. Was tell you what, it was the drive shaft. And listen, we are new at this. We are newbies when it comes to bush hogging and implements on tractors, and we the little tractor we had. You know, we had a box blade, and you had a 4-foot bush hog that you use maybe once a year.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, we never had this type of stuff before, so we're kind of learning as we go. And I think we've done fairly well, you know, learning things and figuring stuff out. But yesterday, we went to put it on, and so we got it all hooked up, and we've gotten really good at hooking stuff up too. And we got it all hooked up except the drive shaft. And so I go to hook the drive shaft up, and, you know, the drive shafts on all our other stuff, because this isn't new. This one's fairly old. I don't know how old it is. I'm sure it's probably a date on it somewhere, but this ain't no spring chicken.
RDH 84, I think is what it model.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
But long story short, I went to and I said, drive shaft's too darn short. And I went to, you know, the rest of them we got just slide in and out so easily. Brooke saw me. My face was red. I was pulling hard as I can. I looked like the Incredible Hulk.
I said, quit. You're going to hurt yourself.
And it wouldn't move. And I thought, this is not, because back in the day, some of these drive shafts were cut and, you know, it fit. You know, a lot of them may have not slid in and out like that. And I was like, this is a darn solid drive shaft, and it's not going to work. So then I said, me and you both said at the same time, well, maybe we can take the drive shaft off the other bush hog.
Yeah, so I stayed up with the bush hog, and you went down to the barn to get to get the drive shaft off the bush hog.
Well, when I went down there and started on it, and then
I was brainstorming.
You were
the whole
brainstorming.
Time.
I'm taking the old drive. I mean, not the old drive, but the drive shaft off our new bush hog, and then I realized after I got it off that it wouldn't slide in near as far, and I thought this thing's going to be way too long. And it's got the slip clutch package on it now, which means that if you hit like a stump, so you're cutting in a stump you can't see, and you hit that stump, to save your tractor gears from being just blown to bits, that slip clutch will slip, and the implement on the tractor will keep turning, but that will just, you know, it won't turn and mess everything up.
Well, you have two different options, and we chose to have the slip clutch versus the shear bolt.
Shear bolt is the other way, and the old one's got the shear bolt system on it, which means if you hit something like that, the bolt breaks
and tear
then
your tractor.
Stops the blades from turning and not tear your tractor up. And that slip clutch setup is really, really large. And I was like, this is not going to work. Then I started brainstorming while you were brainstorming. And on the way up here, I thought maybe getting two come-alongs and ratchet and see if that drive shaft slips out. But by the time I got up here, you suggested that we pull it from the tractor, hook it back up the tractor, and pull the drive shaft from the tractor because we've had, how long we've had that mower?
Oh, goodness. Since let's see.
Is it?
Oh, it's been, I don't know. You were working.
I was
working.
And
it was summertime, so.
A long time. So we haven't used it. But, so you have forgotten, but then remembered that the guys had the same issue when they showed it to you that it worked, and that they had pulled it with a chain.
Yeah, it was two grown men, and they worked together and hooked a chain to it, and were able to show me that it did come apart, because I demanded that, you know, I see that it worked.
Right.
And, you know, I didn't want to come home with it and it be seized up, because that can happen.
Right.
So they got it apart for me, and they said, you know, it needs to be greased, da-da-da. Well, of course, that slipped my mind, because that was back in the summer. And anyway, I told Jason I was sorry for making him go down there and get that other drive shaft, but all we need to do is to pull it apart.
It kind of was a blessing, because I've never taken that drive shaft off, and I figured out how to do it, which I was glad of, because it's different, because it's got the slip clutch set up. And the grease fitting on where that slip clutch is, the grease that U-joint is so hard to get to. And since I took it off, it was easy, and I got to grease that drive shaft.
Did you put
real
it back
good.
on?
I did.
Well, I was going to suggest while, I was cutting grass that maybe you go put that back on, because the next time we go to use it, we're going to have to stop what we're doing. And
I put it back on.
Good job,
Yeah,
Jason.
I put it back on, and I lubed it all up. I'm a WD-40 freak. I love WD-40. And so even though, you got your grease fittings that are really for your lot stuff that move, but like where the splines and all go on there, we even saw it yesterday. You just squirt a little bit WD-40 on there, and it makes life so much easier.
Well, it allowed for that pin that had a little burr on it.
We had a pin that would not go yesterday on that bush hog. I got a rubber mallet that I like to use if I need to give it a little extra attention to get up on something when you're hooking that implement up, and it just wouldn't go. So I was bumping it, and I told you that the darn pin was machined wrong, and it may be a 1/16 of an inch off, and it was too big. And it kind of was, because of what happening was is when the pin went into the hole on the tractor, it was maybe a 1/16 of an inch, and it started it built a little burr on the side of it. But I put that WD-40 on there, and just went right on.
Yep, it sure did.
Went right on. But anyways, you're right. When I got back up there, you suggested we put the drive shaft back on the tractor, and then on the other end, take the winch on our side-by-side and just ease it and see if it come off. And it did. It just pulled it right off.
It didn't take but a second.
Got my WD-40 out, sprayed the shaft. Now, the shaft does got a grease fitting on there, and we did grease it.
Yeah, but it's just been sitting up for so long.
It was so rusted up. So once I sprayed it, it was easy peasy, and so you were good to go.
The model number indicates the size. So if you notice, I said RDH 84, and what that means is it's a 7-foot bush hog.
Oh, 84 inches.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
7 foot, and I was able to make a pass down, a pass back, and then I had to go a third time, but that just made it for a little bit better, cleaner look when I came back through, because I was able to touch up all that mist area, and it really looks nice.
Well, then this kind of reminds me, we need to get gas for the side-by-side.
We need to get gas for everything.
And the reason why I say that was because you were going, and I knew you had this nice finishing mower, so I went down the sides of the road and
Cleaned
picked
up
up all the trash, and it's not that much anymore.
Marycarl and I had just recently picked it up. So
it was when we first got here. It seemed like people just threw their trash out left and right on our little strip.
Think about how long that had been. I mean, that was years of trash that accumulated.
It's not that much anymore.
Well, we pick it up, and it keeps it from accumulating.
But I went through and I started picking up trash and rocks. That was the other thing.
Yeah, rocks.
I didn't want to hit a rock on that new mower.
It wasn't like it was little pebbles. It was
big rocks.
Come out of the
piece
garden.
Of asphalt. I saw a couple of those, and then you're talking a long ways from where the strip is to get back in the gate, let alone close to the camper. I mean, it's a long ways, and I thought you just said that
the gas is not even registering.
It's not registering on the side by side. Here I am, this far away on the side of the road, and I'm gonna run out of gas. But I didn't. I didn't run out of gas.
We bought that side by side in. Well, let's see. Marycarl's about 2 years old, so it's 10 years old.
Was she born? I didn't even think she was born.
Yeah, she went with us to look at it, and that's how it got to be called a beep beep.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So So it's about 10 years old. She might not have been 2.
I love that thing.
It's a Kubota, and I don't know if they've changed this or not, but the only thing that I would complain about is that the gas indicator is up under the seat. And so you have to literally squat down. Well, Jason never pays attention to it, but I have a tendency to look at it from time to time, and I just don't want to be on the other side of the farm. And not that I mind walking, it's getting the gas back over there that's the problem.
It is.
I told him the other day, I said, look, we're going to have some gas. Or we're
gotta have some gas.
Pop.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind on that gas. I would assume they have fixed that issue, but I don't know. They haven't changed much on those things, man. These Kubota side-by-sides do not have all these fancy bells and whistles and
which we don't
all
need.
this. But, man, they are a workhorse. We've had 0 issues with that thing. And
0
it's 10
issues.
years old. I need to change the oil in it.
Yeah.
I need to see what
I
weight
changed
I
the
need to
oil
get
in it the last time that
Yeah.
it was changed. You were working.
I was working.
And I knew that we were kind of getting behind on it. And so easy.
We need to write notes. We got to get gas.
Well, I'm going to remember.
I
we
need
gotta
to
get
look
gas.
and see what weight oil I need for the tractor and the side-by-side and change them all at the same time because I know the tractor's getting close to.
Tractor oil and beep oil.
Beep oil.
Yeah, Marycarl called it a beep, and that's why we continued on calling it a beep. And people are probably like, what in the world are they talking about when they talk about a beep? But that's it.
Yeah. You know,
Beep,
it's
oil.
funny how kids say stuff when they're young and it kind of sticks, don't it? Yeah.
I'd never even think about it. I just say, you want to take the beep?
We always say beep. I've gotten where, since we started creating videos, that I realized people don't know what we're talking about, and then I started calling it a side-by-side like I did a minute ago. But, yeah, beep is what we've always called it. Always called it a beep.
We have made one improvement on the beep.
Well, we put a winch on it.
Well, no, the seat.
Oh, we had to replace the seat.
It's almost wasn't particle board. It was just a very thin piece of plywood on the bottom of the seat, and moisture, would get under there, so that plywood rotted.
Right.
And I thought about buying a cover and replacing that piece of plywood on the bottom of it. And I decided it was cheaper if I just bought a new seat. I didn't go with the Kubota brand, but $100 later, I had a new seat, and that's all the improvements we've ever had to make on it.
We did put a winch on it,
and we put a cover on it.
We put a top on it, but other than that, it's
when the weather's like it is. I would love to have a windshield.
Yeah, I love that the windshield.
But
too.
I can imagine that it would get mud and
we've
cat prints and
that, and we've also talked about too, since your mom likes to go places on it, and Marycarl likes to go places on it. And Marycarl is not 4 anymore; she's 11, and she's almost as tall as
she's
you
not
are.
11.
12, almost as tall as you are now. That we thought about we may have to get one with an extra seat on it, but we'll see. I really do like that thing.
Well, we took the old seat.
Yeah.
When it was no good anymore, and we put it on the back of the bed, and I rigged it up to where Marycarl could sit up there at the little cog.
Yeah.
And we would, drive where we needed to go, but it takes up too much of the bed.
It takes up half the bed.
And we need
the bed so much. We depend on that side-by-side so much.
We better find something to knock on, because as soon as we are talking about this, it's going to go kaput.
They're so dependable.
And it's so easy to operate. My mom has a tendency to shy away from complicated mechanical things, and she has no problem with it. And we're no spokesman for Kubota.
Oh, no.
Just,
nope, they're not sponsored by us or anything, but they're just good products. The thing about that side-by-side, like I said, it is, and we've been to places where we've seen these other side-by-sides, like the Polaris, or what's the other one that we look, Kawasaki, Yamaha.
Well,
and these things have just all these lights and gauges
to go
and
wrong,
switches.
I think.
And radios, and it's just speakers, and it's just they just and they fancy like Applebee's.
They sure are.
But this Kubota has, I think, 1 gauge on it, and I think it's
it's
hours
not the gas gauge.
No, isn't it the hours?
Yeah, there's an hour
gauge on it, and it's got one handle for high and low and reverse.
And
it's got the 4-wheel drive lever, and it's got the locking differential lever where you lock the rear end in, and that's it. That's all it is to it whatsoever. Or you got a switch to cut the light on and a horn, but there's nothing
fancy.
It is basic as it gets, but it's made to work on a farm. It is a farm workhorse. I mean, this thing is dependable as it gets, strong as an ox.
I have been to Julie and Dave's, and they have, I don't know, I think theirs is a Polaris maybe, but it's a Kawasaki.
That's a
because
mule.
It's got the double seats.
Yep.
And it's got the doors.
Yep, it's a mule.
And boy, I rode in that thing and I thought, this is fancier than Pawpaw's truck.
It is nice, ain't it?
It was nice.
It's got all that fancy suspension and stuff. This Kubota don't have much suspension whatsoever.
It'll beat you to death, won't it?
Yeah, but it will pull a trailer with 2 bales of hay on it. And
Well,
I'm
not
talking
only
round
that,
bales.
it'll pull a Kubota BX 2350 out of a mud hole too.
It's and I didn't know this until recently. Those things have got a hydrostatic transmission just like the tractors do. It's not gear driven.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Well, we
sure
probably
is.
need to change the transmission fluid too. then.
Transmission fluid too. I need to look. We need to go by the Kubota place and see what filters and all we need to get for it.
Well, we'll do that
Yep.
one day. Yeah. We got a list that just don't stop.
Don't stop.
But I wouldn't have it any other way.
That's right.
I feel like we're busier than we've ever been since
We
Jason has
are.
not been at a 8 to 5 job.
Man, I was talking to the lovely couple that's doing our website, and she had sent me this long email of stuff that I needed to do, and I know she's going to listen to this, and I'm sorry that I did not get that done.
I feel like that all the time.
But we had a 3-hour conversation and got it all fixed and handled. But I told her, I said, girl, I used to work a full-time job. I used to, we had our chicken business.
Mm-hmm.
We had the house flipping thing we were doing. We had the YouTube channel and the podcast. And I feel like that I'm way busier now when I'm full-time doing the Cog Hill thing versus other. But like I told her, I said, when I was at my full-time job, I was in front of a computer a lot. And y'all know, anybody, unless you're on a production line or that kind of thing, if you're in an office sitting at a computer, typically you're not doing something 8 solid hours a day. You got downtime, and I would have downtime, and I could piddle with things. I could piddle with the website, or I could answer emails or that kind of thing. But here, we're outside until it gets dark.
Yeah, I feel like we are a lot. I don't know if it's a lot more on our plate or we're just getting things done that needed to have been done all along.
I think a combination of both, because once we went full-time Cog Hill, we added another video a week. We're doing 2 podcasts a week, so that's 5 days of recording. Then you have to edit those things.
Not me.
So you got that on top of it. So yeah, it's it makes for a busy time. Plus everything that's going on. I mean, like I said, now we're getting wire pulled right now, but I installed all the pipe for the wire and the plumbing, and we had no animal paddocks, and the list goes on and on and on.
I keep telling myself that there's going to come a time when we're going to be dwindling our fingers wondering what we're going to do.
No,
you don't think so?
No, it's going to be a long ways away.
I know a long ways away, but it's going to happen at some point.
Maybe.
We're never going to be. The thing about us is we're never satisfied with the way things are. We want to make it better and improve it. Not necessarily monetary ways to improve it.
Right.
Just physically, things that we can do to improve the health and the love for our animals.
Yeah, that's right.
So we got a busy day today.
Got a busy day today.
I don't know how we're going to fit it all in, but we're going to make it work.
Yeah, we'll get it. We got a busy day today, but we'll handle it. We will definitely handle it and get it done.
So we decided that we were going to put a big sliding door on our barn.
That's right.
And that way we could open it all the way.
Mm-hmm.
First we were thinking about parking the tractor in there.
We were thinking about parking a tractor in there.
And we realized that they're called ROPS. I don't know if you're supposed to say ROPS.
ROPS.
I think it's an abbreviation for Rollover Protection System.
I think you're right.
And so it's foldable ROPS. And
I don't know if all tractor companies do this, and I'm not down in Kubota, but after we just was praising them, but they make it seem like it's just easy. If you want to fold this thing down, and it just folds down, and it's not the case. It's got 2 bolts in it, and you'd have to have some type of wrench to undo it. And I can just see us undoing it with a wrench, folding it down, putting the bolt back in, and you think, well, that don't sound that bad, but if you're tired, it's late in the evening, there's a lot that goes on. And if it's not efficient, I can just see us either A, not doing it, or B, doing it. And then the next time you get on the tractor, you just pull the tractor out and start bush hogging and don't put it back up.
That's what would happen.
And it would just stay down all the time.
So the point is, we talked about putting it in the barn, but it was too tall.
It's too tall.
So we would have had to fold the ROPS down every time to get it in.
And it's a roll bar. If you don't know what we're talking about, it's a roll bar that goes over the driver. So if it was to roll over, that hits and your head don't hit.
Well, my thought was there's hardly ever a time where we don't have some kind of implement on the tractor.
That's right.
Right now we got the finishing mower. That finishing mower is 7 foot wide.
Yep.
And I don't know how long it is, but that makes that tractor super long.
Yes.
So it would take a lot of space to be cleared out to be able to drive the tractor.
And the buckets on the front of it.
The buckets on the front of it. So before James, who's the man that made the repairs to the barn, came, we had talked about making the door big enough to drive the tractor in there.
That's right.
And while he was, what was that?
I don't know.
While he was gone, we decided that probably putting the tractor in the barn might not be the best decision.
No, probably wouldn't.
That we would put up another structure to store the tractor under.
Yes.
And maybe park the beep beep in the barn.
We can, especially on days it's going to rain. Especially,
yeah.
And we don't have a garage or nothing built right now. Once the stuff gets built, we can.
Yeah, go from there.
We can go from there. But right now, we're parking it under the lean-to that you guys saw in the last video that is, barely hanging on. Where I robbed the tin off of to put on the barn.
That's right.
We got a bunch of stuff under that thing right now.
We do. I hope it doesn't collapse.
Hope it don't collapse.
But I
can even change the oil on the beep beep inside.
You don't need to do that. That's what the dirt's for, boy.
Man, wouldn't that be nice?
No,
Not
you don't need
muddy
it.
All,
Oh, you think about getting you one of those rollers so you can just roll around?
Wouldn't that be nice?
My daddy had one of those. I don't know where that thing went. I guess maybe the wheels fell off of it or something.
I don't know.
He always changed the oil in his car.
I just think about, though, if that barn door was on there, I could have me a heater in there.
So, James was still thinking that we were going to park the tractor in there. We didn't tell him anyway otherwise. And Jason and I had decided that we would just do a 8-foot door.
Yeah.
And that meant a 6-foot opening.
Right.
So when he asked me, I said, we decided we would just do a 8-foot door. He said, well, I already got it framed out for an 8-foot door, 8-foot opening, meaning a 10-foot door.
10-foot
I said,
door.
well, go ahead with it. That'll
That's
be
fine. Yep.
So I started looking at these barn rail systems, which is what I got to have for the barn door.
That's
a
right.
rail system to slide that door back and forth.
Yep.
And I couldn't make heads or tails out of what to do. I told Jason, I said, I know we need a rail. I know we need rollers, but you're going to have to sit down with me and we're going to have to look at this. So yesterday we did. We got on the computer because it's hard looking on your phone, and that's all we have in the big camper is the phone. Yep. Came out here, we pulled it up, and lo and behold, you can't hardly find a 10-foot rail.
Yeah, it was crazy. We got the implements or the
rollers,
and the hangers and
all the accessories,
the locks and the stops and all that good stuff.
But all I could find was the 8-foot track.
8-foot track.
So,
but we needed 20-foot total.
we needed two 10-foot tracks.
Yep.
So we got to looking, and I mean, Lowe's, you couldn't order it to be delivered.
Nope.
Home Depot, you couldn't order it to be delivered. Amazon, the delivery was ridiculous.
Crazy, way off.
Because it was, 10 foot long.
Right.
So we started looking at Tractor Supply, and our location didn't have it.
Nope.
And it didn't allow you to order it. And I guess that's because of shipping,
Yeah.
So it said, check areas near you.
Other stores, yeah.
So you won't believe what came up.
Store about 45 minutes away from our, well, that's longer than that because it's a good way, but at least an hour away from our old hometown had it.
What are you talking about?
Selma.
Oh, our old hometown was Selma.
Yeah.
So
our old hometown
had it.
Had it. 2 pieces.
And you know how that goes. Sometimes things are shown.
That's right. Inventory.
Online.
Yep.
And I thought to myself, even though it's our hometown, we have little things we could take care of while we're there. I still want to make sure they got it.
That's right.
So I called the store, and the girl was so nice. She put me on hold. She said, let me go put my hands on it. And she came back, and she put her hands on it, and they have 2 10-foot rails.
And we ordered it online, so we've already bought it. We just got to go by there and get it.
Yep. I said, how long will y'all keep things? She said, I think it's 2 days. I was like, okay, I'll do my best to get there in 2 days.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. We've got our rails ordered, and we ordered the hardware from somewhere else, Amazon, I believe.
I think it was Amazon.
So that we should have a door by the weekend,
Yep.
hopefully, if all the parts come in.
Hopefully.
You can hang that, can't you?
I think I can. The only problem I think we may have is
Picking it up.
the door and putting it on there.
I got a tractor.
I guess we could put the forks on the tractor.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You want to cut that heater down some? It's getting warm to me.
You think?
If you're not, fine. You can leave it on. I was getting a little warm.
So we have to go to Selma.
Yep.
And get our rails that we ordered.
Yep.
And we, as y'all know, if you've watched the video, we have the greenhouse. We have the aviary started.
Yes.
And we're still, when we built it, we had the idea that we would cover the whole top with roofing, the clear greenhouse type corrugated.
That was
roofing. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, our panels. That's what we were thinking, and then they're pretty expensive, more than what we initially thought. And then we thought about putting hardware cloth on it. Then we thought maybe we ought to put this aviary netting up like zoos tend to use, but you found out that has to be replaced kind of regularly.
Yeah, I don't want to get into every 3 years worrying about a pigeon getting out.
So then we were back to hardware cloth.
Yeah, I asked Robert at Daybird Aviaries what he thought, and he said he would use hardware cloth.
Yes.
Because, and he didn't say this, but what I read was sometimes a bird, if they're I would say busy, they're real busy and go up real fast, they could get stuck in that net, and we do not want that to happen.
We don't want that to happen. Yep.
So, as the national championship football game was on last night, you were deeply involved in that, I was watching it out of the corner of my eye. I started doing some research, and it was just getting the best of me yesterday, trying to figure out what we were going to do about the roof.
Right.
I just get something on my mind, and I need to make a decision. Right. I need to know what we're going to do, and plus that, we're to the point where we need to make a next step with the building of it.
Right.
So, I was looking at suppliers of greenhouse materials throughout Alabama, because I thought that stuff that they have on pedals from the past, their roofing. Oh, I looked it up last night. What's it called? Poly.
I don't know what you call it.
Jason told us that it was good. It was a good material. So I thought I would try to find that.
Right.
Well, everywhere I found it was, besides the fact that it was real expensive, it's called Twin Wall.
Okay. It
was real expensive. It just wasn't available anywhere unless I had it shipped.
Oh, okay. Got you.
So I said, look, last ditch effort. I'm going to go to Facebook and look on Marketplace.
Yes.
And lo and behold, I found something.
I can't believe you found it.
I can't believe it either. So I found this place, and it's in Alabama, and it's not too far from us. It's about an hour, and they had advertised thick is what it said in the description. Thick.
It said for greenhouses too.
For greenhouses, shops, sheds, roofing, clear, which is what we were after. And so I sent the person a message, and I realized while I was sending her a message that it said, this is a business.
Yes.
And we are here 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So I sent her a message back, and I said, sorry, I'll call tomorrow, because it gave a phone number.
Oh.
And she responded back and said, yes, they did still have it.
Yes.
And I said, okay. So I called them this morning, and they told me what they had, and they said, we have a lot more than what's just listed. I can't list everything.
Right.
So I'm thinking that we're just going to take a drive over there. The prices were great.
Prices were way better than we have seen before.
Way better. And plus that is 3 foot wide, which everything else I've found has been 2 foot 6.
Wide, yeah.
2 foot 6 inches, which it overlapped.
Right,
would make
right,
2
right,
foot.
right.
So I'm getting another foot.
Yes.
And and it's inexpensive, and it's brand new. It's not like it's deteriorated and
Right.
been on a greenhouse. So I'm still giddy about finding that product.
Yeah.
We don't want to
anxious
cover the
see.
whole thing. We think we're going to do half of it with hardware cloth
Yeah.
and make panels
Right.
to sit on top so they can get
Right.
sunlight
Right.
and rain and
Because Marycarl's wanting to put plants and stuff in there, and I had told her, I said, if we cover this whole thing up with that clear plastic, somebody's going to have to water all the plants in there.
well, some of them are going to have to be watered anyway.
Right.
But they would definitely have to be watered if it's all
Definitely have to be
covered.
watered if it's covered all the time. And so she agreed, and then that's when we started, brainstorming, trying to figure out what should we do next.
What should we
Yes.
do next? So we found a supplier,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't call them and ask them to tell me everything that they have.
Right.
So I know that they have something that would work. So it's not going to be a wasted trip. We'll come back with that
We'll
if
come back with
nothing
that.
else. But we're going to just have to take a drive over it's near Birmingham, so we can do something else. Maybe look at a shower.
Yeah. We can look at a shower. We got fairly close to ordering a shower. We kind of held back. But yeah, we can go look at a shower. We've got, and I told you what I want is just a plain white acrylic shower, nothing fancy, with our rubbed oil bronze. Isn't that right?
Yep.
Rubbed oil bronze door, maybe a fancy door to make the shower look fancy. With rubbed oil bronze fixtures that look fancy. That way we could have, instead of having that big fancy tile elaborate shower, it'll kind of look fancy even though it's not.
That's right. And somebody did send an email or either comment that they had built a house and they put all oil rub bronze hardware in there because that's what was in style at the time. We're not about style. We like the way it looks. So we ordered that for our bathtub. It was already here, and she said that was a regret for them because it shows up water stains so bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like soap, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Because it's
I got
dark or
you.
whatever.
I got you.
But I'm just going to have to do a little bit more cleaning because
I had to do a little bit more cleaner.
that's what we're going to have.
Yeah, our other bathroom was
Chrome.
what was it? It wasn't chrome. Well, that was chrome.
Polished.
But it was chrome and the nickel.
Yeah,
'Cause
the
you-
shiny stuff.
Yeah, used to you couldn't mix metals, but now you can.
Now you
You
can.
can get away with mixing metals. You
But
can
I
even
still don't want an oil rub bronze bathtub and stainless shower.
No, we even thought about doing matte black.
Yeah, but
I
I think
think you're gonna go rubbed oil.
I should have brought the
bronze.
faucet in here,
Yeah,
but that's okay. We plan on showing a couple of things in the video that's coming out this week,
yes, that's right.
and we got to go to town a little bit later, and we'll take y'all with us on that trip, and you can see a little bit more detail about what we got going
That's
on.
right.
That's gonna go in the house.
That's right. Absolutely.
I do feel like we need to go ahead and get Marycarl's bathtub and shower ordered.
I agree. We need to get that on in here because if he starts the end of this week, and the trusses come in,
Yeah, it's gonna be on like Donkey Kong.
yeah, it's gonna go quick. So yeah, we need to go ahead, and get that. If we didn't have a slab, it wouldn't be that big a deal.
Yeah, we
if
need
this
to-
was on a crawl space or elevated foundation where the plumber could just go up under there and put stuff where he needs to put it, wouldn't be that big a deal. But since we're on a slab,
Well, see, shower
it's gotta be
drains.
darn close.
Shower drains are left drain, right drain, and
Or
center
center
drain,
drain.
and not all of them have the option.
Yeah.
So I would hate to tell the plumber to do a center drain and then
Right.
the shower that I find be a left drain.
That's right.
And I would be sick. I
Right.
want to have it picked out. I just do. Maybe not bought, but picked out for
Right.
sure. Dogs are barking and carrying on, but what was I gonna say?
Talking about showers. And
Mama's needs to be picked out too,
all hers need to be picked out too.
and we're gonna do. Somebody else sent an email and said that your mom may not be to this point now, but having one of those tubs that has the door. We
Yep.
flipped a house that had one of these tubs in it.
Well, your mom's already said she wanted one of those.
Yes, and so we knew that was
In handicap
bars.
bars where she can pull herself up.
She had that installed at the other place.
Mm-hmm.
But we do want to go ahead and get that order because I don't know how far back ordered that may be.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're right. We need to get
That may
ordered.
be harder to find than what we think.
Hmm.
Oh goodness.
Okay.
we know what needs to be done. We just got to do it.
Yep.
And I just don't want to make a hasty decision. I feel like the bathtub, if we had kept looking, we would have got confused. We knew we liked that one.
That's the thing, man, and I'm the world's worst, y'all, when it comes to buying something, especially when it's something big, like a bathtub or a camera or a printer. So I got our computer died, and we've always used window-based computers, and since I'm doing all this editing, I've had so many people tell me that I needed to get a MacBook, which is an Apple computer, to edit my videos on, because it's just way faster, and it is. It's been awesome. But I had to learn a whole new system. Well, none of our printers, none of our scanners that we had are compatible to this MacBook. And I found that out yesterday, because I was supposed to be printing off some tax stuff. And I fiddled and could not get that printer to work yesterday. Then I Googled it and realized it was not compatible, was not Mac compatible. So guess what? I probably spent over an hour trying to find a printer. One.
I know when you told me that I ordered a printer, and I was like, okay, but I could tell in his voice he was giddy about it, and so I was like, okay, what'd you get?
Yeah.
Because it was I'm sure a big deal to pick out.
Oh gosh, and I read the reviews, and then I start Googling, and then I find another one, and it's just it'll go down this rabbit hole, and I've wasted so much darn time because I'm scared I'm gonna make a mistake. And just like with the bathtub, but I did order one, and it's supposed to be compatible and good to go.
You know that shower that I showed you that there was like it had the seat in it.
Yeah.
That was made by Sterling,
Yep.
which is a Kohler company.
Yep.
That's the one I really want. But the only place I can find it's Amazon, and you're scared to have it shipped because
I am.
But you know what?
Yeah.
I'm thinking if we go ahead and order it and have it shipped, if it's damaged, they can send us another one. We're going to have time.
That's true, too.
I really, really like it.
I need to go back and look at that one, too, and see how it goes together.
It's, I can tell you. I know all about it.
Well, I've been reading about them, and you don't want the ones that have to be glued on the wall and have to be seamed where the seam is. You have to put caulking in the seams. You don't want those. And I need to go back and make sure that's not one of those. Well, that it's a snap and fit.
Okay.
And that's the ones that seem to be way better.
See, and that's the reason why I can't just go out there and order one, because it's a decision we kind of have to make together.
Yeah,
I mean, we need to know that it's mechanically sound, and mechanically is probably not the word I should use, and we also need to like it.
Yeah, we need to like it. So we need to find one.
I like that one a lot.
I guess probably the best one is the ones that are all
one piece.
It's all one piece.
Yeah.
But I think they've kind of gotten away from those because almost all of them now are not like that.
Well, you know what I read?
It's because of moving and installation. Because if you get that shower, that thing has to be in your house before it's framed up.
You know what I read about that?
What's
the
that?
one pieces?
What?
They said if you ever have a leak or a problem, then you got to tear the whole thing out that you want the three pieces.
I got you.
So, I don't know. I'm just telling you what I read.
Plus, too, the ones that are in pieces, if you were remodeling your house, you'd have to have a three-piece one, because if you had one of them solid ones,
you couldn't
it won't fit. You can't get it through the doors or anything like that.
Do you remember back years ago when you had bought your first house and your mom had a friend who was tearing down a house?
And we tried to save the shower.
We didn't try. We did.
We did.
We
didn't figure out how we were going to get it in.
Oh my gosh. Y'all, this was crazy. Okay, so Jason's mom had a friend who had a house that was being demolished. And she said, anything that y'all want out of this house, y'all go get it.
That's right.
And so we went, and we had plans of adding a second bathroom in this house that Jason lived in before we got married.
That's right.
So we thought, well, we'll go over there and see what they have. They had a one-piece shower. And we were like, oh, my gracious, this is just too good to let go. So we spent an entire day
getting that shower
out. And if I'm not mistaken, we had to tear the door off the house, or the door was already tore off.
Yeah, you couldn't, because it wouldn't fit.
So we put it in the back of the truck, and we brought it, and we stored it in the storage shed on Willow Drive for the day that we were to add on the bathroom, which never happened.
It never happened.
But what we didn't ever think about, well, I guess if we added on, it would be open.
It would be open.
We spent that entire day getting that shower out when it was, a few $100s is what the thing would have cost at the time, and We just didn't have it.
We didn't have it. No.
So that was like just cha-ching.
Yes. Big cha-ching.
But you ended up selling the house, and we ended up just, donating the shower to somebody else that could use it. But boy, the lengths that we went to get something we thought we might need.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
I'm just thinking of all the times that we
did a lot of stuff like that back in the day. A lot of stuff.
Spent all day just trying to, that we could use later.
Yep.
We could use. And I feel like that's one reason we're in the position we're in now. It's because we have taken extra steps to save money.
Yeah.
For lack of other way to say it. We've taken extra. We're not extravagant people. We've never been splurgers, but when we had to hire somebody to fix that barn, I was just kind of like, gosh, I wish we could, we're do-it-yourselfers. We want to be able to fix it ourselves. But we knew we couldn't because the block work we weren't experienced enough in, and we were literally scared the thing might fall down on us.
Yeah, we
needed somebody that was experienced. And that day that James was here working on that barn, and we were working on the aviary, and I could hear him hammering, a smile came to my face to know that I had somebody down there working that was doing something that we didn't have the expertise to do.
And it took them a day and a half to replace that whole wall, build that door, replace all the tin, and pull all the tin off.
Would have took us 2 years.
And did all that block work.
Yes.
In a day and a half. Yeah, it literally would have taken, that wall would have taken me a month. Easily a month.
And it's not that you're degrading your building skills. It's just that having the knowledge and knowing what to do. Greg's a perfect example.
Yes.
He said that he had priced a pond build to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that the gentleman didn't choose him because he found somebody else that was a little bit cheaper.
Yes.
And so he said, you know what happened? He said, that boy called me the other day and wanted me to come fix that pond.
So he's got to pay it anyways.
He said, so he would have been so much better off going the right route to begin with versus coming back and get me to fix somebody else's problem.
That's right. Well, you live and learn.
You live and learn.
You live and learn. And I know my limits now. And like the guys here pulling this wire, this was something 10, 15 years ago I would have tried to tackle. Pulling that wire and running through them boxes. And there's 3 men here. Well,
earlier you were out here getting the podcast set up, and I heard on the door. And I was like, what in the world?
Yeah.
And I said, yes. And it was Clayton. And he said, hey, and I said, Jason's in the little camper next door. He said, no, I need a tractor driver. And I said, okay. So I came outside, and he said, get on your tractor if you ain't got nothing pressing, and pull it over here. And I was like, okay. I didn't know what he wanted.
Right.
But I pulled the tractor in front of where the box to the plug was. And he said, all right, lower your bucket. And I said, okay. So I lowered my bucket, and he's giving me directions up and down, and he tied a rope around it, and he said, okay, go up. And I went up, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And he said, go down. And I said, okay. So he tied the rope back on, go up. And I kept doing this over and over. Mm-hmm. And finally I figured out that they had a string going through that pipe. Mm-hmm. And they were hooking the wire on the end of that string, and I was pulling it with the tractor versus them trying to use their muscles.
Because it's big wire. It's a big wire because it's so long, and to keep from voltage dropping, it had to be a certain size wire, and it's such a big wire that every 150 foot we got a box, and then where we got a box we put a plug. If we got a box there, might as well put a plug there, and that goes down all the way to the road. And so they got all those pulls they got to pull up, and instead of pulling it by hand, they're doing it with that. And they do make a puller too, but it's that tractor was
I told him
ticket.
I said, Jason's next
so
door
smart.
Door in the camper. He said, no, I need a tractor
driver.
Operator. And I said, all right. So I went on outside, and and they told me, they said, well, we can take care of it from here if you got something else to do. But using that tractor was smart to pull that big heavy wire, because I could see it. It was so big. It was on the spool was on the back of the truck, and they were unwinding it as we were lifting up on the bucket.
That was good though.
But you remember when we were talking about every 150 foot, you had to either make a junction.
Yeah.
Or put a plug in.
Yeah.
And I can remember the day you asked me, you said, do we really need plugs at every 150 foot?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought to myself, no, but they got to make up a joint anyway, so why not just put the plugs in?
Why not put the plug there? There's already going to be up in a big box anyway. So
we may never use those plugs.
It's there.
But, hey, I may decide I want to vacuum my car out one day right
Who
there.
knows? Each paddock is going to have a plug.
That's right. Going to have a plug, and then the power will be there if we ever want to add to it.
To add to it. Yep. So
and then we're ending the power at the Purple Pigeon Palace to where if and one day hopefully we will add a animal barn.
Yes.
It can be added onto from there and going
Right.
into that back
So we're
pasture.
good. We're good to go there. We're thinking. So we're good.
Thinking ahead. We
Yep.
ended the water right there knowing that we can add on to it and add Moody and Mildred's water can be filled up from the Purple Pigeon Palace.
That's why I did it like
Spigot.
that.
And I can now visualize kind of where the watering station needs to go.
Me too.
Kind of at the end of that Purple Pigeon Palace and maybe mount it right there.
Right.
And I mean, we've been through some bending down and having to get back up to fill up waters, but hey,
our wash station will be coming.
it never hurt anybody.
It never hurt anybody. I think our next thing is that we will start on the cow area. The big paddock for them. It's gonna be a pretty big pasture for them. Get that going. Get that fenced off because it's got to be completely fenced off. We had thought about just using because Chad at Adler Farm, he uses a 3-wire hot wire system for his cattle, and they stay in it completely. And I thought about doing that, but then I was like, you know what? It needs to be fenced off. Everything else is fenced off. To me, it kind of looks more aesthetic.
Yeah, it needs to be more permanent because those two are not going anywhere. They'll be with us for the duration, and that does not mean going to any processor. They are strictly pets, and if y'all follow us, you know that. We're attached to them. They're our pets, and that's just they're going to have a place to live out the rest of their lovely life.
That's right. And once we get that done, we'll start on a shelter for them.
Right.
A scratching post for them, and a hay cover. All that'll be encompassed in that area for the cows.
But please understand that is coming.
And cattle.
Cattle. There's no way that we could build a shelter for Moody right now where it is and move it.
Yeah, that's right.
So we want to get our fence up.
Yeah.
Once we get that secure, then we're going to start working on the shelter.
And right now we're pretty mild temperatures here, and to me, our winters are so mild. It's the summer that really when they're going to need the shelter. In my opinion, more so to get out of the hot sun.
Get out of the hot sun, and we will have something by the summer. If I have to buy something temporary and put it together, then we'll do that. But
I don't see that though. I think that we'll have something. I think we'll get started on it. As soon as the aviary's done, then that's the next thing besides the house.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Right.
We got to finish what we started first, and we had promised Marycarl this Purple Pigeon Palace, and
this was her birthday Christmas present.
Mildred has a shelter.
Yes,
she's
Mildred
young,
has a shelter,
so she does need to get out of
That's
cold
right.
temperatures. Moody. Cows don't have to have shelter. Yes, it is something we will add.
Yeah, and especially like we said before, our area is really, really, really mild. There's cattle on two sides of us. I mean, across the street and on this side of us, and it's just the cows are everywhere here.
And we know that Moody's different than just a cow.
Different.
He will have a shelter.
He is going to have a shelter. Yeah, Moody is going to have a shelter. And it's going to be exactly how he wants it, and it's going to be nice. It's going to be exactly what he needs.
Right.
And because I don't want to have to go back and
that was our
redo
thing,
something. Yeah.
Is if we had got Moody and it was
plus if people remember, Moody was not planned.
No, Moody wasn't.
Moody was not planned at all. It's not like that we were, planning ahead, and Moody was a spur of the moment. Got the call that night. The next morning we were there, and we got a humongous teddy bear of a pet that we did not plan whatsoever.
Yeah.
So we're trying to figure it all out because we never owned a a cow before.
A bovine.
And so, we're new at this, but we want to do it right and get Moody and Mildred the perfect place for them where they got a lot more room.
That's right.
And give them the perfect shelter, and so it'll all be right the first time.
That's right.
Yep.
So just want y'all to know that we love our animals.
Absolutely.
And we take all the care that we can possibly give them.
Yep.
And where we are right now is just all we can do.
Right.
We're working as hard as we can to get things accomplished, and
we will.
Nobody will suffer.
That's right.
Nobody will suffer.
That's right. There was a couple things I had written down, so I don't want to forget saying. Other one was that I forgot to mention that Sheila and Greg from Hoss Tools will be at the meet and greet at Pedals from the Past.
Oh, really?
Yes, on April 23rd.
I didn't know that.
Yes, I totally forgot to mention that. I don't know why I forgot, because I text Greg, not every day, but we do text back and forth, and we are big friends, and I just, for some reason, that slipped my mind that Greg and Sheila are supposed to be there at the meet and greet at Pedals from the Past on April 23rd.
That is awesome.
So on Saturday. I know it's April 23rd. It's 22nd, 23rd. But you can go to Pedals website, Pedals from the Past website, and look and see.
Is Lester going to be there too?
No, I wrote Lester down because, as you know, I'm really good friends with Lester at I'm a Survivor Sanctuary, and I started getting tagged. We're so busy yesterday. We were busy. We've been really busy.
It's not going to change.
It's not going to change. And so I'm not. If you guys see that I am not posting anything, no pictures or no, I got my videos, our long form videos, our little mini movies that we put out, every other day just about. But if you see that I'm not posting a story, an Instagram story or Instagram post or Facebook, just a simple picture, that's because we are busy, and it just slips my mind. And so yesterday I haven't checked social media at all. It was late. It may have been 11 o'clock last night because we was watching the game.
Mm-hmm.
And congratulations to the Georgia Bulldogs.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was late, and I started looking at my phone, and I started seeing where I was getting tagged. And so I always check it when I get tagged, and I looked, and it was on Lester's live show. And usually when I start getting tagged, it means Lester mentioned us or said something funny about us or something like that. And I got to watching Lester and Jamie's live show, and Lester talks about this lady that found them, and evidently the lady was an animal lover and saw Lester was an animal sanctuary. And on Facebook, you can subscribe, is what they call it now. They used to be called a supporter. I don't know why they changed it, calling it to be a subscriber, which I don't like that term because it confuses a lot of people. Because we get a lot of people, not a lot, but we get some people say, why do I have to subscribe to you to watch your videos?
Or why do I have to pay money?
Pay money. And you don't. It's completely free. But it's kind of an automatic thing, sort of, kind of. And they put it at the bottom of our videos, and I have not yet to figure out how to remove it. And I think it's more so on mobile, like if you're watching it from your phone or something. It's at every bottom of the video, become a subscriber. And all it is just a monthly donation is all it is. That's all it is. It's a small monthly donation. I think it's around, you may even compare. I don't know. I don't even remember setting it up. It's kind of automatic with Facebook. But long story short, this lady, Lester's story was that this lady never watched any of his videos, just saw he was a animal sanctuary and became a subscriber, and then watched one of his videos. And of course, Lester is just like a big old teenage boy. That's about all I can put it. That's why, and most of us guys are, we're silly, we're goofy, especially when we're around each other. And you can even look, because he talks about mine, his, and Daniel Arms group text we have, that we group text each other. And it's just silliness and goofiness, and that's just Lester. And so the woman had never seen his videos, and she didn't like it. She didn't like his sense of humor and didn't like his silliness. And so she sent a message back and said that she wanted to unsubscribe to them and wanted her money back. But long story short, Lester was talking about, that's how he is, and he's just that way, and that, how it got on, but that he had challenged me and Daniel, and then he mentioned Dutch too, but me and Daniel to imitate him in a video.
Imitate him?
Yeah.
How are you going to imitate Lester?
So, I don't know. Do I need to go buy me some Crocs?
Probably. White ones, I think.
With spurs on it.
Yeah.
I noticed in the live show, and I haven't seen it yet, because Lester puts out 4 million videos a day. And how he does it, Lester, I don't know how you do it, man.
I don't either.
But good gracious, it's hard enough for me to get one every other day. But I noticed Lester's got a big old gold ring on it, and I think it's a Longhorn, because I call him Longhorn Lester all the time now. Even in our group text, I call him Longhorn Lester, because that's just so funny to me. But anyways, yeah, he challenged me and Daniel to imitate him.
You might want to let Daniel do that first, and then you'll see where you're going. Right?
I guess so. Oh, me.
That's interesting.
Anyways, yeah. And, but, I don't know. Some of our videos are kind of, I used to do a lot of silly videos, early stages of it. Y'all can go back and look, not on Facebook. I don't have many on Facebook, because I just started posting about 2 years ago on Facebook. If you go back to our YouTube channel, and I may republish some of those silly videos I used to do, like opening the gate, and
that's not silly.
Where I open the gate and the chickens fly all out.
Yeah, I think that was cool.
I made a little mini movie with that, and the rats in the Airstream was pretty funny. I used to do them like that a good bit, but anyways, yeah. So that may be something that I may have to do.
Imitate Lester.
I may have to do a little piece of Lester here at Cog Hill.
Is Nugget going to be involved?
I may have to dress Nugget up like Carl.
That's what I was thinking. You don't have to dress him up. Just
It's funny because people kind of get confused with Nugget and
goodness.
Carl.
I've answered so many.
Yeah.
What is Nugget?
Nugget is a emu. Carl is a ostrich. Now, they're both ratites.
Uh-huh.
But they're really two totally different.
We'd have to get Marycarl to explain the difference.
Emus are native Australia, but I don't think ostriches are.
No.
Yeah, I think ostriches are Africa. So yeah, they're two totally different animals. And like Lester, Carl is a male, and he seems a little aggressive. Emu males
are sweet.
Are usually typically docile.
But I couldn't tell you to go out and get a male emu and it'd be like Nugget.
That's right. Nugget may be one of a kind. But from our research, the males are a lot more docile than the females.
But there's no way to sex them unless you have a DNA test
Unless you have a DNA test done.
When we got Nugget, we thought Nugget was a girl.
Yes.
Per the owner.
The owner. Because sometimes they have like a
swirl
or a bullseye on the feather pattern on their head, allegedly. And I don't know, but
DNA test confirmed Nugget is a male. We have a video on that.
We do have a video.
A gender reveal.
Gender reveal party with Nugget. But getting back to the female emu tends to be aggressive. If you don't know, I think Jake at White House has at one point separated his male and females because the females were getting a little rowdy. But go find, and some of y'all may know her. It's called Useless Farm, and she's got funny videos, and I get tagged in her videos a lot because she's got a couple of female emus, and good gracious, they are the devil.
Nugget doesn't need the devil.
They come after her a lot. Of course, she stands her ground. She's used to them, and we would too. But,
right.
They come after her, full-fledged come after her. Huh. And it gets a lot of views because a lot of people never seen that, and the way she reacts to it's pretty funny. But yeah, I get tagged in her videos a lot. But that shows you, from what we've been told, what a female emu's like. And especially when it comes around mating season, they say the female emu's really, really more aggressive.
But
so
the male is the one that sits on the nest.
He builds the nest. She lays the eggs. The male sits on the eggs,
for 60
hatches the eggs, and raises the chicks.
Yep. 60 days.
60
he does
days.
not get up.
Nope. Isn't that something?
No food, no water, no nothing.
That's unreal. But that's why we don't have... Now, who's to say a year from now or something like that, we may get another male emu, but we just don't know what sex they are when they're babies. It's just hard to say.
Some people have DNA tests done before they offer them for sale. Your people that are breeders would do that. But, we came across Nugget. Nugget had never been around another emu, so he doesn't know. He might hiss at another emu.
Who knows?
I don't know what his reaction would be, but it's not something we're immediately planning on.
And we get a lot of information because we got a big following in Australia, and we get so much feedback and information because that's their bird. I mean,
and they're loners. They're loners.
They are. I just found that out. We had somebody say that the emus, and I think it's the male more so than the female, are loners. And that they will they don't have to be in a pack of emus or a group of emus, that the male will, I guess, looking for females to breed. And I thought that was very interesting. But Nugget does have friends. He's not in there by himself.
No,
he's
has
been
a
around
herd.
The geese and ducks his entire life, and that's who he's always thought of. And he's just, the Moody's right next door. The goats are on each side of him right next door. The chickens are able to go over there. So yeah, he's
we are
good.
his herd as well.
Yeah, that's
so
true. Yep.
He looks at us as his herd. And,
that's right.
I don't know. He might tell me one day he wants a friend, but I think he's fine.
I think he's fine. I really do. But eventually, if we did see anything, we would try to get another male. I don't think we'd get a female.
I don't either.
We just don't need that drama here.
Stan and Kathy have a pair.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of surprised that she didn't tell me that she had made a nest this year because they're winter time.
That's right.
November, December, January.
Right.
Would be when they would start their nest. Maybe they're late bloomers. Maybe it'll be February. Maybe they'll have babies this year.
I don't know.
That's Nugget's siblings.
Yes. Brother and sister.
Brother and sister, and they, Pepita and Goldie.
Yes.
And they are a pair. And I think one day they will probably reproduce. It'll be interesting to see Nugget's kin folks.
It will be. That'd be cute. They're so cute when they're little.
They are.
Yep.
I saw a picture of Nugget when he was a baby the other day, and I was like, oh, I missed him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's kind of like your kids, they're
is.
little and they grow up, and time just doesn't stand still.
That's right. Absolutely.
Let's go get some work done.
Guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Cogcast podcast, and we will catch you on another one, which should be Tuesday.
No. This is Tuesday.
Today's Tuesday.
It'll be
Oh my gracious,
Saturday.
My days are messed up.
It'll be Saturday. I'm the one keeping track of these podcasts.
I thought today was Wednesday.
Nope. I'm the one keeping track
Thursday.
of
I thought today was Thursday. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay. Bye.
Y'all be good.
Well, it's another one in the books for the Cog Hill 40. Join us again next week for our next edition of the Cog Hill podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.